On the night of September 19th, 1961, an American couple, Barney and Betty Hill, were driving home through the dark highways of New Hampshire after a short vacation. The road was quiet, surrounded only by forest and the sound of their car engine. Suddenly, Betty spotted a strange light moving across the sky. At first, she thought it might be a star, or perhaps an airplane. But the light moved in unusual patterns, darting closer, brighter, and more intense, until she could no longer look away. Barney, a former military man, was skeptical. He reassured his wife that it was probably nothing. But as the light descended lower, following their car closely, he began to feel uneasy. He pulled over, took out binoculars, and froze. Through the lenses, Barney saw what he described as a large, disc-shaped craft, hovering silently above the treetops. Inside its glowing windows, he claimed to see figures, tall, thin beings with oversized heads and dark, black eyes staring directly down at him. The sight filled him with terror. Barney rushed back to the car, yelling for Betty to get in, and sped down the highway. But no matter how fast they drove, the light seemed to follow, weaving through the night sky as if it was playing a game of pursuit. When the couple finally arrived home, they discovered something chilling. They had lost almost 2 hours of time. What should have been a simple drive had stretched into the unknown. Neither could remember what had happened during that missing time. They simply called it the blackout, a gap in memory that haunted them both. In the weeks that followed, Betty began suffering vivid nightmares. In her dreams, she was taken inside a cold metallic room, lying on a table under harsh lights. Strange beings surrounded her, their large black eyes unblinking as they performed strange examinations, taking skin samples, strands of hair, even her blood. The dreams left her shaken, convinced they were not dreams at all, but memories trying to resurface. Desperate for answers, the Hills turned to Dr. Benjamin Simon, a psychiatrist specializing in hypnosis. Under deep hypnosis, both Barney and Betty described nearly identical experiences. Being surrounded by bright light, led onto a spacecraft, and subjected to medical-like procedures by non-human beings. Their accounts, recorded separately, matched in uncanny detail. For many, this was the first serious report of what would become known as alien abduction. Newspapers seized on the story, and soon the Hills' names were known across the country. Some experts dismissed the case as stress, hallucination, or cultural fantasy. But for others, it was undeniable proof that humans had been in contact with something far beyond Earth. The Hills' story became a cornerstone of UFO lore, fueling decades of fear and fascination. It was no longer just lights in the sky. It was the terrifying idea that people could be taken against their will, examined, and then returned with no memory except shadows of trauma. Even today, more than 60 years later, the Hill abduction remains one of the most studied and debated UFO encounters in history. Skeptics call it imagination gone too far. Believers say it was the night humanity's quiet highways were crossed by eyes from another world. Whatever the truth, the night of September 19th, 1961, left behind a legacy, the birth of the alien abduction phenomenon. From that moment on, every strange light in the sky carried with it a chilling possibility that we are being watched and that we are not alone.